Well, it looks like House and Senate Republicans are actually following through on some of Trump's promises regarding the national reciprocity of gun laws as far as concealed carry goes. Now, this is just great because the way the article states it is like dangerous concealed carry reciprocity measures condemned by mayors group. A bunch of mayors get together and just think they're going to go ahead and legislate for the entire fucking country. That's neat. I appreciate that. You're the executive of your little municipality, not ours. Now, as it says in the first paragraph, the U.S. Conference of Mayors passed a resolution this week in opposition to two House and Senate GOP proposals that would endorse national concealed carry reciprocity, a top priority for the National Rifle Association under GOP-controlled White House and Congress. The mayors, including New York City's Bill de Blasio, a known douchebag, and Chicago's Rahm Emanuel, another known douchebag, passed a resolution at their annual conference that calls on Congress to resist dangerous legislation that they argue prevents states and local governments from crafting gun laws appropriate to their needs while undermining legislation already on the books. Well, mayors, Emanuel de Blasio, you're both liberal douchebags. You're both anti-freedom, and generally speaking, you've been just terrible. Just terrible for the places that you're the mayors of. Now, the first thing I need to go ahead and talk about when it comes to these types of situations is that the Second Amendment is a right. It's not a question. It's not an opportunity for discussion. It's a fucking right. You have a right to own guns. You have a right to have guns. And frankly, if things were right in this country, you'd have a right to carry guns no matter where you are. Now, I personally have a concealed carry permit. What it says about me is that I'm not a felon. It says that I took a safety course. And it says that I'm capable of responsibly carrying a weapon, at least in as much as it's supposed to. It also works as a second form of ID. I've used it to get into bars. I'm not sure if that's legal or not, but it has a photo, it has my date of birth, and it's got my name on it. I'm pretty sure it's valid for most purposes in that regard. Now, the part of their argument is that a person from Iowa, where there is no gun restriction as far as being able to conceal carry, could walk into New York with a loaded gun and walk around. Well, isn't it interesting that places that tend to have these laws also tend to have the lowest violence per capita? All right? The places in the country with these stringent draconian gun laws tend to have the worst gun violence in America. Now, call me foolish, call me skeptical, maybe call me a bit absurd when it comes to this, but I think that there might be a correlation between gun laws, which make it impossible for the average citizen to carry them, and crime by violent criminals. Kind of makes sense when you put the two and two together. If you take the guns away from people who could have them to protect themselves, then people who can have them outside of the law, because you can get a gun anywhere in the world. You can get a gun in England, you can get a gun in France, you can get a gun in Australia, you can get a gun anywhere, all right? As long as these people have a military, as long as there's militaries in the nation, guns are going to go missing and people are going to sell them. It's just how it works. It's just how this happens. No matter what you do, it's going to continue to happen. Now, I think that going ahead and forcing states to work with the other states as far as their abilities to have guns, and what I mean by that is I think that forcing states to maybe have a conversation together as far as what their concealed carry permits should condone would be a good conversation starter. But I gotta be honest, I really don't care. I think we should all just be able to carry a gun. Frankly, I think it'd be a safer world. Now, in an honor culture, yeah, we might have a problem. But we're not living in an honor culture anymore. People don't tend to feel that they have anything to prove. And it just stands to reason that the places that these gun laws actually occur in tend to be places with strong honor cultures, generally speaking, black communities. That's a problem, but it's not my problem. And I'm not going to give up rights because some people are fucking stupid. Okay? Eventually people start dying, and then people rise up and say, well, enough of this shit. And then the problem sort of tends to go away. When you give people the ability to defend themselves, they do. When you give people the thought that they should have liberties, they take them. An exception would be people who have been given liberties without responsibility. And that's where you tend to have a problem. I would state, as a general rule, that everybody should be taught to use firearms in school. I think it should be something that should just be offered to everybody. Now, I'm not saying we should just go out and give semi-automatic 9mm to children, but I am saying that high school students, maybe we should give them 22 bolt-action rifles, and just train them how to use them responsibly. I feel that that would be a great start to revitalizing a culture of responsibility in this country. The whole reason we have these gun rights is, in fact, to assist with a violent overthrow of government, given the circumstances that is necessary. And generally speaking, I think the greatest sign that those types of things would be necessary would be, in fact, that they take away the right to control guns of the individual, rather. They take guns away from individuals. If they do that, I think that's the stick. I think it's meant to stand there, to just be there, and the first person to pluck at it is the bad guy. That's the thief. It's like leaving a $100 bill rolled up right there and saying, this is everybody's $100 bill, and the first person who goes and takes it is the enemy. He's the problem. Because it's not just everybody's $100 bill, and to him it's his. And that's the thing about government. When the government decides that it's his or her right, when government decides that it's the state's right to control firearms, that is when you see the problem begin to manifest. Now, moving forward, the mayor's such bills, blah, 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 valid permit, carry city, oh God, I just don't care. Why should I? Why should I? Why should I give a fuck? Okay? I think that the gun laws that we have so far aren't really working to begin with. States like Maine, they just had concealed carry across the board. Anybody can carry, anybody can have it, no big deal. States like that, no crime. It's just not there. They have a bigger problem with heroin than they have with gun violence. Silly me. Oh, except with minority communities within those places. Tends to be a problem when people come out of Michigan and start using them. But, well, I think they're going to have a problem with some of those people. Because if you start creating too much havoc in some of those small Maine towns, you're going to start seeing some real pushback. I've seen it myself. Simply put, this resolution is a bridge too far. Contrary to this resolution, my bill to provide law-abiding citizens the right to carry concealed across state lines will not increase the... I don't understand the way this wording is set up. Hudson defended his legislation in a statement Monday. Contrary to this resolution, he said, my bill to provide law-abiding citizens the right to carry concealed across state lines will not increase crime or violence. Yeah, to simply put, this resolution is a bridge too far. I don't understand. I guess they're not giving enough context. Yeah, they don't actually describe what the bill does. But I feel that's something that needs to be taken care of. Now, one thing I really enjoyed was, this bill is supported by ISIS, I'm sure. By ISIS. Right. Yeah. We're playing into the hands of the Islamic State militant and group in Syria and Iraq. Oh my God. No. I don't give my rights away. I don't look back and say, no, I don't want an expansion of my rights. Because there are violent individuals. That is exactly the reason why I should continue to expand my rights. That is exactly the reason why I should continue to guard my rights. Because there are people out there who want to take them away, who want to use them for nefarious purposes. This is the same argument that people use against hate speech. Oh, now these are you're playing into the KKK's hands when you say that you're allowed to criticize another race. When you say that you're allowed to discuss problems with the IQ among populations, you're playing into the hands of the racists. I don't care. I don't care. Why should I? Why should I let these people control my actions? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Nobody should be having to sit there and worry about ISIS when it comes to their own civil rights. But this is what you are seeing. You are seeing a push by the government to use things like ISIS, to use things like racism to take away civil rights. That's what you're seeing in today's world. We're taking away our personal First Amendment freedoms. We're taking away our personal Second Amendment freedoms in order to, I guess, make it safer. It's not going to make it safer. In fact, it's just going to make it more draconian. It's going to make the world a worse place to live. I don't even know how to go on from this. It's silly. It's silly on its face. Yes, my Florida concealed carry license should allow me to walk through New York City with a gun on my side, underneath my coat, underneath my jacket, whatever I have, I should be able to have it. I should be able to have it on me. I have proven myself. I do have reciprocity in 38 states, but I feel that it should go farther. I feel that those gun laws within those states should be non-applicable to me. If California wishes to have bullet button restrictions and chambered round restrictions, I feel that those should be not applicable to me. I don't think they should apply to the people within those states either. Now look, maybe fully automatic weapons are a step too far. I don't know. Frankly, alright, I feel that an individual should be allowed to have fully automatic weapons as well. But they're really not all that necessary. A fully automatic weapon, just as dangerous as a semi-automatic weapon in the right hands. So, I guess I'll leave it in there. What do you think? Do you think we ought to go ahead and let people have the rights that are guaranteed to them in the Constitution of the United States, set up by the forefathers? Or do you think we should go ahead and slowly eke away at every right we have? But we should start with the Second Amendment, right? So that people can't defend themselves when the government decides to go out of control and do things that are against the will of the population? Oh yeah. I think so.